layers of the Earth's atmosphere. So we'll go over how the layers are divided. We'll talk about each layer quickly, and then we will do some more with this in class tomorrow. So first off, the atmosphere is divided into layers, and the basis for that division is changes in temperature. Alright, so we're going to take our own notes tonight. So as you move up away from the Earth's surface towards outer space, average temperature changes. And so we see in one layer it will get colder, then it will start to get warmer, then it will get colder again, then it will get warmer again. So based on this change in temperature, we divide the atmosphere into different layers. So let's talk about each layer quickly, starting from the bottom up. So our first layer is the troposphere. That's our first layer. It's the lowest layer. This is where we live. All right. In the troposphere, temperature decreases as you go up. All our weather is in this layer. I should say layer, not year. Along with almost all of the atmosphere's mass. So gravity pulls almost all of the gases in the atmosphere down close to the Earth's surface. So almost all of the gases are in the troposphere. So it's kind of compressed into this dense layer close to the surface. So in this picture, the orange sliver is going to be the troposphere. So that's our lowest layer. You spend your entire life living in the troposphere. Next up is the stratosphere. Alright. And this is above the troposphere. It goes 12 to 50 kilometers above the surface. You do need to know those numbers. Stratosphere. Alright. In the stratosphere, we have the ozone layer. Alright, I'm sure you guys have learned about this before, or at least have heard of it. The ozone layer contains a gas called ozone, and it blocks harmful radiation from the sun. But while it blocks this radiation, it warms up. So as you go up through the stratosphere, temperature actually increases because of the ozone trapping all that energy. Right, the stratosphere is the white layer in this picture. This picture is from the space station, taken towards looking at a space shuttle that's approaching it. As you go farther up, we get to the mesosphere. Right? Mesosphere means middle in Greek, sorry. Meso means middle in Greek. So this is kind of one of the middle layers of the atmosphere. 50 to 80 kilometers above the surface. Right? So the air is getting super, super thin. Right? Air pressure is really low here. Temperature is going down again. And this is where meteors burn up. Right? Even though the density is really low, it's dense enough that as these meteors come into the atmosphere, they heat up and burn up as they come in. So the way I remember it, meso and meteor both start with M. Pretty easy to remember that as a fact about this layer. And then our last layer is the thermosphere. Right? Starts at 80 kilometers up. Right? It starts at 80 but has no real defined end. It just kind of dissolves into space. Some books will put an end at like 160 kilometers, but we'll just say that this doesn't really have a defined end. Once you get to about 200 to 300 kilometers up, there isn't really any air anymore. But you don't have to remember like a top of the thermosphere. Here, temperature increases due to the high amounts of radiation from the sun that are being absorbed in this layer. But air pressure is so low that you actually can't really feel the temperature that well because you need air molecules to hit you to measure the temperature. So each air molecule in the thermosphere has a lot of energy. It's moving really, really fast, but there are so few of them that it's hard to actually get a good measurement of the temperature. So some satellites actually orbit here. The International Space Station orbits towards the top of the thermosphere. So there's little bits of air that hit the space station as it moves through its orbit. And that actually slows it down, and every couple years they have to boost the space station back up to a higher orbit because as it slows down, it starts to fall closer to Earth. So that's our last layer, is the thermosphere. We also have these things called pauses. And a pause, right, the word pause means stop. And so we use the term pause to refer to the top of each layer. So it's pretty straightforward. The tropopause would be the top of the troposphere at 12 kilometers. The stratopause would be the top of the stratosphere. The mesopause would be the top of the mesosphere. And we don't really have a thermopause, right? Some books define an exosphere as 500 kilometers up. but we're just going to treat this as one layer. They're very similar in characteristics. We're just going to treat the thermosphere and the exosphere as the same thing. So we have a tropopause, a stratopause, and a mesopause. All right, that is all the notes for tonight. Make sure you put 3 questions at the bottom, and I will see you guys in class tomorrow.